Hello everyone, my name is Robert Duru and I'm from the Group 3 on the critic peer review or something. So today I would like to present you about, actually my topic was men are dogs, but I thought that would be too much overgeneralization. So I wanted this to be an informative speech answering the question, are men dogs? So let me ask you guys a question before I start. How many of you think men they display doggish-like behavior? Just by a raise of hands. No one? At all? Okay, it's going to be tough. Okay, so let's start, I guess. So I don't let this picture confuse you. I'm not actually saying men are dogs, but I'm going to explore the idea that in society, men they display dog-like behaviors in a couple of different aspects. So let's see the analogy of men to dogs with respect to relationships, behavior and respect, rape culture, and objectifying women. So in a general sense of mating behavior. So let's go to relationships. So when it comes to relationships, let's say that the quote, men are dogs, comes up when it comes to monogamy and cheating. And this, in this sense, this stereotype is actually overly under-justified, because in a study done in a Southeastern university in the United States, it showed that majority of men actually thought anything that progresses from kissing and on is actually cheating. So they had the basic definition that men should not do that when they are in a monogamous relationship. But when it came to studies done with the women in that undergraduate body, they said that 1 in 5 men, they cheated at the time that they were saying they were in a monogamous relationship. So the question you could ask here is that, is it only cheating that makes men doggish or dogs or whatever you'd like to call it? And another thing is about conformity when men or boys or male gender are in relationships. So men are perceived as these strong people, they're never weak, they don't show their sensitivity. And among men, even though we won't admit it maybe to other people, there will be those, as Trump called it, locker room talks, in which we would objectify women, or we would talk about many women we scored. This is for some men, of course. So conformity may be at play sometimes with some men. But I'd like to clarify that here I'm not saying no man is good, or there aren't men that are monogamous or don't cheat on their wives, that are unfaithful. I'm just trying to attack the social stereotype that men are dogs. So then we come to behavior and respect aspect of this code. So does anyone know what catcalling is here? Catcalling. Anyone? Okay. So to basically define a catcalling is like a woman walks down the street and a man usually calls her with derogatory terms, comments on her body, or whistles even. It's as simple as that. That's what catcalling is. So with the respect of how many men catcall on women and how many women catcall on men, it is definitely clear men are more of a dogs than women are. And there are, of course, general stereotypes in popular culture, and I would like to go to videos, like rap videos. They are applauded for their music. They are, they have the fame, the money, people like them, when in their videos they're actually perpetuating and objectifying women in some sense. Which is really weird because we are generally against sexism or against women being treated as objects, but then we go back to our iPods or iPhones and we listen to those same rappers that kind of, in a way, advocate for that kind of objectivization of women. I touched upon the pressure with relation to conformity, and then we come to rape culture. Rape culture, it has been made popular in college in the United States, but rape culture can take any form of victim blaming, capitalizing sexual assault, teaching women about the avoidance of rape. So to touch upon everyone in short ways, victim blaming is like saying the girl was just wearing too short of a skirt. Like, it's her fault. How could a man not be tempted? And you would see that same guy that defended the person, the assaulter, he would go beyond and saying men or dogs are just a saying for women to control them. So in this sense, in victim blaming, tribalizing sexual assault would be like boys will be boys, you know? They'll just do what boys do. In this sense as well, people have this double standard to not admit that men have doggish behavior, but they have to go around and normalize this rape culture. And the last one is teaching women about the avoidance of rape. Actually, this is very popular in many countries in which parents control or teach their daughters that they can't be liberal because then men would be more likely to attack them or something like that. Like, it's even within the root of the society that we are advocating for this culture of telling men or dogs. And even when it comes to the pressure, if, I'm not trying to blame women for actually advancing this thing, but if women only, let's say, give attention to those men that treat them as objects, that treat them as they are just the end, the means to the end, then this culture will just become more and more. And then we come to objectifying women. I've talked some about this, that seeing women as objects. Like, they're just there for doing one thing and then we'll go on to the next one, like they're dogs. We use them, we throw one away. And with this, again, with the relevance of women doing this and men doing this, it's more likely that men do this more. And even, I have seen this in this city, like sometimes, and even they say, why buy the whole cow when you can just get the milk? This is something that advocates for that stereotype. Telling men to be dogs and just use women as objects, that gets one thing. And at last is their progress. I'm not saying that there hasn't been progress. Sexism has been a little less. There have been people advocating for equal rights for women and men. But maybe it's not progress, but it's people finding different ways of showing that they want women to be less. And it falls under the dominance behavior that men have as well when this is advocated. And I guess that's it. Thank you. Oh yeah, sorry. And I just wanted to go on with this quote. I thought I finished. Men and women are equally animals when they choose to be. So in any relationship, in any, even friendship or whatever it is, it's within the maturity of the person to actually not act like an animal and act like a human being and treat the other as one as well. So it's your choice whether you want to be a dog, a cat, a snake, or whatever you want to be. So thank you again.
Any more volunteers? Anybody else?